In this lecture, the basic objective in this lecture is to show you or tell you what are the importance of computer networks, analogy of computer network with transportation system and its elements. Actually, we have already done this introduction earlier, but later I found this content from one of the good source, open source subject available on or freeware subject available on net. I found this content and I thought I should share with my students so that you can have more firm grip of understanding of networks, and then analogy to understand the significance of networks, importance of networks, and uses of networks, and what are the network elements. So quickly we'll go through the slides so that you can appreciate it. So the agenda is about all this: importance of computer networks, goals of networks, an analogy of transportation network and a computer network. All right, analogy of that, and what are the elements of computer networks and some properties, and criteria which are used for evaluation of different networks. Okay, so let's take up one by one. Okay. I will select the pen. Right. Both computers and computer networks are indispensable. Indispensable means unavoidable, has become necessary. All workspaces contain computers and they are invariably interconnected. Most of the places you find networks are interconnection of computers. They may be connected via LAN. They can communicate. So if they are connected via LAN, or maybe another network like MAN, they can communicate with other computers. In most residential flats, computers are connected to the internet through dial-up. This is one of the old approach, or maybe broadband as we are using today. For what? Maybe emailing, web browsing, and like playing games and watching movies, etc. Okay. Apart from at home and in the office, computer networks are present in all mass transport systems, like now metro in Hyderabad. And for what? For the purpose of smooth operation of ticketing systems, giving signals and safety protection and others. Business also requires computer networks. When we eat or shop, computer networks come in to connect the ordering, inventory, and nowadays you might have seen in almost every domain we are using the networking applications. The administration of a country or city also needs computers and so I've said the whole thing has become automated. The whole thing is basically based on communication network. So what I'm trying to tell you that, or you take any domain of application, you take any domain of operation, computer networks and communication has become indispensable. So look at that. Computer networks are required to allow access to information, like including citizen and business registration information at different government offices. So border control points, for operating traffic lights, for operating at airport, railways, you take any transportation system, essentially networks have their role. Computer networks have a role. This is a broad depiction of a computer network. Look at this. I have an internet service provider. This is a router. This is a link to end system, which is a server. And here I have maybe another maybe router, or maybe a switch or something like gateway. These are the nodes. It can be a desktop, it can be a tab, it can be laptop. These are called end systems. So the end system, server, the communication link, the router for switching the packets. Okay, so that is a broad overview of a network. There are three important goals of computer networks. Overcoming geographic separation means if I interconnect two geographical different regions, then they get connected. Allowing for information sharing and supporting distributed processing. So let's take up one by one each of these. Overcoming geographic separation means overcome geographical separation in a city or across countries. The computers that need to communicate with other computers are often located at different parts of the world, and they need computer networks to pass information across long distances to overcome that geographical separation. So that is this. So for information sharing, allow information sharing by connecting people to computers to access information. and there may be having some computers may be having databases, so therefore you can access the database for getting the required information. So without a computer network, it would take a long time to select and transport the required data from the database to the required users. Now, if I have computer network, it can be done very efficiently. You might have observed one thing in banking scenarios. If I give a check to you, for example, if I give a check to you, so you might have observed, suppose if I give you a check to deposit, earlier without networking, the bank people used to receive the check and then they used to make some slip, and then that slip gets used to get transported to the other branch from where the check belongs to, and then essentially it used to take 3 to 4 days for the actual amount to get credited. But now when all these banks are interconnected, when all the banks have an interconnectivity between them, if I give a check, maybe maximum within 2 days it is getting credited. The amount is getting debited and credited to the respective account. Why? Because of connectivity. So what is happening now? The transportation is avoided. So they are just putting the check, scanning it and emailing or forwarding it to the corresponding destination bank, and within hours we are getting the reply, yes, the amount has been, the check is authentic, and then the transaction can be completed. So all these banking transactions, the other airline information services, etc. Earlier it used to be done in manual mode, but now with the coming up of the networking technology, the cost has been reduced and the delay has also been substantially reduced. Okay, so that is the advantage of it. Okay, support distributed processing. If I have a set of computers, I can break up my task into different units, and I can distribute these tasks into different computers and then get my work done. And this will make some sort of parallel computing, make some sort of distributed computing. Okay. These different locations can be physically close to each other or maybe far apart, right? Physical transportation of the immediately processed data is impractical. So therefore computer networks become unavoidable in distributed processing. It allows timely passing of semi-processed or maybe full processed data between computers located at distributed or different locations. Now this is a simple analogy to show you the relevance between transportation network and computer network. You can see that. So in transportation network, what do you have? You have cities, you have sender, you have receiver. Cities are interconnected by means of roads. Whereas in computer network, what do you have? You have computer, sender or receiver. There in transportation, you transport letters or goods. Here you transport message or data. So equivalent analogy. There you have physical pathways, roads. Here you have medium channels or links. Agreed packet and unpacking method. I mean, you agree upon in what form should I pack my good or pack my letter, and what is unpacking method. Here the same thing is called protocol. Here you have one-way traffic. Here you suppose if the road is one way, so I may have one-way traffic. The same thing is called here simplex communication. I talked about this earlier. Time shared single lane for both. I mean, I have single lane, but for some time I pass traffic this way and the other way. So here that approach is called half duplex. And then both traffic direct means I have sufficient broad channel. So I have two-way traffic simultaneously at the same time, right? Two-way online and two-way outgoing and two-way incoming. So here this is called full duplex communication. So that is the analogy between road transportation and computer network. Now here I have, you can, this I am giving you as an exercise, please. I am giving you this as an exercise. I want everybody to fill up this and you can share with me over email your answer for this. What is it? Now on the left hand in the columns, in the rows you have telephone, fax, mobile, voice, personal detail, different modes of communication. Personal computer, television broadcasting, radio broadcasting, pager, communication or information devices. And on the right hand side in 3 columns, what do you have? Message content. Is it text, video, audio, image? Like for example, telephone. When I use telephone, one entry we will fill up now. Remaining like that, you should fill up and complete this as a good exercise. For telephone, what is the message content? Is it text or video or audio or image? Come on. Telephone, normal landline. When I say telephone, let us say we are referring to landline. So what is the message content? Are we transmitting text? Are we transmitting video? Or are we transmitting audio or image? We are transmitting audio. audio. Data flow, is it simplex, half duplex or full duplex? Come on, it is full duplex. Is it not? Both of us can speak to each other over telephone landline. Yes. Network connected, is it fixed telephone, mobile telephone, coaxial network or wireless broadband? When I say landline, it is fixed telephone. I hope you got my point. So like that, based on your knowledge, you try to fill up this remaining. Like when I use fax, what is the type of message content? Is it text or video or audio? It is neither video, it is not audio. It may be either image or text. It may be either text or image for fax. Data flow, it is purely simplex. Only one way. Network connected, maybe fixed telephone. Telephone network. For fax also use telephone. So I hope 2 entries I have done. So like that you fill up for the remaining and complete it. Okay, during our interactive session I will again ask you and we can have an interactive discussion on this again. Okay, right. Now what are the elements of computer network? This also we defined earlier. Again I am trying to give you sort of review. A node, what is a node? A node is a device where 2 or more links are terminated or originated. Node serves to switch from an incoming traffic coming link to an outgoing link. The nodes are sometimes referred to as switching or routing hubs. Links, these are media. Connection between 2 nodes. The 2 nodes so connected become adjacent nodes. Link serves to connect or to link up the 2 nodes when there is a need for data flow between the 2 nodes. Links are sometimes referred to as transmission links or channels or medium, either way. Okay. What are some of the important properties of computer network? The need for the network criteria, these are connection and physical structure, and then the categorization. Like this is the first property, the need for network. Why do we need the network? Like I'm telling as an analogy both for transportation network and computer network. I advise you go through, I don't want to read out all these points. At your leisure, you just have a relative comparison between transportation network and why do we need transportation network? Why do we need a computer network? Some points are there. If you read them, you get a good understanding, a correlation of the knowledge of computer network. So like that, you read for the second one also, criteria. What are the different criteria for improving the performance of transportation network and for improving the performance of a computer network? Okay, read them at your convenience. Third, connecting and what is the connectivity or physical structure used for both transportation network and computer network? Okay, and then the categorization. How are they categorized? Like for example, this we will see. Transportation networks can be categorized within a city, metropolitan, our Hyderabad city network. Intercity, connecting to 2 or more cities. Interstate, connecting 2 or more states. International, I can have international transportation network also. Similarly, for our computer networks also, we have categorization. We already said that, like local area networks, metropolitan area networks, wide area networks. So we have a direct correlation between them. So dear student, this is a very good analogy of transportation network and computer network to gain an understanding of exactly what is the meaning of computer network, what is the purpose of computer network, what are the uses of computer networks, and what are the parameters that govern the performance of network parameters. Okay. Network needs to maintain certain requirements or criteria to serve a particular situation. There are many such performance metrics, like for example, transit time, time needed to transmit the data, response time, time to get the response are the 2 important from user's perspective. As a user, we want less transmission time, we want less response time. So that's why these are user-centric performance measuring criteria. What is transit time? Read that definition. The transit time is the time a message needs to travel from the originating end of the network to the intended destination in the network. What is response time? Response time of a network is the time between a user making a request for a network service and the network responding to this request. So response is that. Like if I put a question to you, the time I complete my question to the time at which some students start giving me the response of it, that is called response time. For massive data transfers between network links, bandwidth and delay are key important parameters. These are other 2 parameters, bandwidth and delay. Bandwidth and delay. So let me highlight. Bandwidth and delay are 2 important metrics for measuring when the network is a bulky network, large network. Bandwidth limits the maximum data rate at which a user can send data across a network. Delay is the time measured from the time when the data first enter the network to the time the data finally exit the network to reach the intended destination. Okay, so sometimes delay is also called latency. Okay. Now, what are the various network devices or elements which are present in different networks? So here I have list one. I'm very sure many of you might be familiar with, but here I have given some diagrams also to facilitate understanding of these various elements. So we'll talk about each of them as separate slide. What is the client? Generally, the word client is used to mean either a workstation, your desktop, a normal desktop computer, or maybe a laptop. Okay, which an end user means the user like you and me can sit here and then operate. The term client computer is used to refer any device which participate in the network. So these are end system. These become the source, or this may become the destination. Okay, so that's the laptop. Workstation, term used for high-end type computer which has much more memory and processing power than a normal desktop computer. Used for computing tasks which require more memory and processing power than normal computing. And these are the applications these are a sample figure of a workstation computer. All right. Server is a high configuration special computer which serves resources to clients. So this is an example of a big server, Dell server. Network, they are used for a variety of services like file service, printing service, database service, web server, DNS, DHCP, video streaming server, etc. So normally servers run for almost all hours of the day, 365 by 7 we say, 365 days, right? 365 days and 24 hours per week, like this. Unexpected shutdown of a server may cause the entire operation of a business down. You know it very well. So this is an example of a rack mountable server. This is an example of a hub which is used for connecting or maybe making a LAN, basically network connectivity device to connect clients during early days. Of this was used during early days. Now you are using either routers or switches. So other highlights you can read about Ethernet hubs. Okay, they have large amount of unnecessary traffic in the network. They were a bit of less efficient in terms of operation. That's why they are not used now. Nowadays, as I said, we are using switches. This is how a switch will look like. Connecting device widely used these days. Layer 2 or layer. What about layer 2, layer 3? We'll talk about later point of time. So these are the essential highlights. You cannot understand right now. When we take up the unit 2, you should be able to understand what is media access control, and then layer 2, layer 3, all that will come. So essentially, these also used for configuration or formation of a LAN. Okay, so these are the ports on which you connect through Cat5 cable or twisted pair cable to the switch, so that communication can take place. Now for wireless LAN, you need access points. So this is an example of a Cisco access points. Access points are used to connect wireless connected devices, as you see in your college or business offices or maybe some entertainment zones. You find several access points placed through which you can access internet. Router, the switching element. The router is also called switching element. It is used for forwarding packets. This is a forwarding device. It is used for forwarding the packets or data coming from one end to the other end. So generally used at layer 3 of OSI model. Layer 3 is network layer. So it is used essentially to forward and receive traffic between layer 3 networks. It depends what is IP address and all that we have to see. But this is just a review with regard to the terminology of the various types of devices which are used in a network. Now this is for protection purpose, firewall. I hope the term firewall is not new to you. This also is familiar. It's a network security device which is used to prevent unauthorized traffic, intruders, etc. The job of firewall is to inspect, control, perform policing and block the network traffic. It can be software. Firewall can be a software. It can be a hardware device or a software running on a special hardware device. It is like this. It's just like a normal server machine. Are used to prevent unauthorized access to private networks from users of the internet. So it's a private, like I may have a firewall. Generally firewalls are used in banks, and highly critical systems, defense, missiles, etc., critical systems. And like that, we have intrusion prevention systems also, more high-end machines in racks like this. This is also a network security device which is used to detect and prevent network threats. Intrusion prevention systems can be connected in line within your network, and it can run continuously monitoring your network or network threats, and can report any threat to the network administrator, or it can proactively shut the line if a threat is identified. This is a simple example that's showing IPS sensor. And we had already in our earlier video a detailed discussion on the network media. Okay, it is used for interconnecting various devices. It can come in the form of copper twisted pairs, or maybe in the form of wireless channels, or in the form of coaxial cables, or maybe in the form of electromagnetic radiations, as we said, infrared, or maybe radio waves. And this is a simple picture of a cable with jacks crimped onto it. So these are the jacks which are crimped onto the cable. Generally in your commercial technology you will call them as LAN cable also, is it not? On Amazon you can find it with the name like LAN cable, etc. So these are, it may be either a coaxial cable, or it may be like a twisted pair, and with crimping of the jacks. So that is about media. That's it.